Hello everybody, my name is Will, and welcome back to From the Depths. Last video we built this, the Heroic class cruiser. This is currently the pride of our fleet that we're using to push the Lightning Hoods back from whence they came. However, it is no longer the biggest ship in our arsenal. This is a yet unnamed supercruiser that I have been building, and it's currently docked to the ship, which is why it's getting occasionally dipped into the water. Don't think about that too much. As you can see, we have a set of 4 double-barreled guns. These are 305mm intermediate These are 305mm intermediate caliber guns. We have 6, potentially increasing to more than this, anti-air and also anti-munition secondary weapons, and a host of missiles, and also on the other side, torpedoes, which are gonna do a pretty decent job of taking out smaller enemies. This is an extremely expensive craft, and we're gonna run through the building process for that in a very short moment. Now, right, I'm gonna get this one out here right now. It's not very good for the materials. Before everyone's going to leave the comments telling me what I did wrong, etc, etc, etc. I basically did everything wrong. I like to learn by doing. If I don't just get on with it and start building, I'm never going to do it. So if I didn't build this wrong, I would have never learned the things that I've learned from building it. With that out of the way, let's look at the stages of building for this thing. Starting very early in the process this time, this is the basic frame that I went off. In terms of overall dimensions, this is based on the Alaska class, like, super heavy cruisers that the Americans designed and built a couple of in World War II. It's a really cool cruiser. I don't believe it was actually very good historically, but I like the idea of having something in between a heavy cruiser and a battle cruiser that we could use in our fleet. And I don't know, it had a little bit of soul. I was interested, so I built one. And we worked on that frame to come up with our hull form, which is a little bit strange and definitely strained my current knowledge of hull building skills. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but definitely not my finest work so far. I prefer the hull on the light cruiser, but, you know, it kind of works, and there's a couple of basic bits of armor here. We got an AI, we've got a little bit of ammo, we have a couple of engines that are generating electricity, but there's no batteries on here, no weapons, nothing like that. Next up, I armored up the, gun... what do you call these? Cases? The armored boxes, what we put the guns in, and we built a couple of guns here at the rear. So you can see now that these are 305mm guns that fire at, these currently fire at 98, 97. The actual version that I'm currently on fire a little bit slower, 81, but these are firing some sabot shells, which you can see here. They have a pretty good armor piercing value, and these are actually rail guns. If you look in here, we got a couple of railgun magnets inside of the actual turret itself, and this means that while we look like a normal weapon, we actually have quite a lot more firepower than that if we were to go like this. You can see these are fairly potent, and hopefully should make light work of pretty much anything that we face. Also, you can see that it's just about buoyant. And then simply we did the same thing, but on the front of the ship. These are exactly the same as that kind of, I don't know, Y turret? Is that what you call this? Second to the back turret? This very rear turret, as you can see, there's quite a lot less space under this turret than the other ones. That is definitely the case, and hang on. You can see here how much shorter it is from the rest of the guns, so it is quite a lot smaller than those. And then we put on the superstructure. You can see at this point it is looking a little bit lifeless, just without paint. I don't know, this thing just doesn't quite feel right. I think it's just because there's such huge blocks of one singular color going on. It's kind of difficult to make out the actual ship and it just kind of looks like a bunch of skyscrapers. This is also before I put any of the Mimic secondaries on here, which is what I ended up doing instead of putting the actual secondaries on, because those secondaries are super, super expensive. But we've got our missile systems on the front there. We have a couple of missile interceptors here. I kind of want more of these. These are vertical launch, and honestly, they miss quite a lot of the time. So I think I'm gonna need to do some more, maybe turreted missile interceptors that can do a bit of a better job versus like cram shells and stuff. These only really work against missiles. So yeah, a little bit of work to do with that, but we'll move on now to the finally detailed and painted version. And this is the finished product as it stands right now. You can see we've got all of these secondaries on here. These are fake. You can see these are made up out of mimics. Somebody in my Discord posted a blueprint which had a bunch of these in. I do not remember who it is. My apologies. But yeah, there's loads of them sprinkled all over the place just because it breaks up the monotony of the design if you don't have stuff like that. We also have space for a float plane catapult back here, as well as a little hangar door, which I thought was a nice little bit of visual interest that we could add to the midships of this. But yeah, definitely room to do a little bit more with this design. And if we go on the inside, you can see how much empty space we have. We can use all of this to make this much more powerful. Potentially one thing that could be good to add is a laser defense system, just because that is, while not the most powerful defense system, a really, really reliable one for dealing with like lots of small missiles. So maybe that's the way to go with all this empty space. It's kind of, you know, conveniently shaped for a laser system as well. But yeah, it's going to add cost. And oh, the part that I've been dreading. Oh, it's 2 million materials. Oh, God. Oh, God. It's not worth 2 million materials. But that's the ship. That is where we are with it. Hopefully next episode we'll have a couple of the kinks worked out and we can get this thing spawned into the actual campaign. We're probably not going to spawn one of these in unless we really, really need to today. Obviously this is significantly more powerful than my last cruiser, but I think versus the Lightning Hoods in our career, we should be able to carry on with the ships that we currently have, and we shouldn't have too many problems. So that is the ship that I've been working on. That's why this episode has taken so long, and I'll level with you. Another project like this, probably not going to be in the next episode. This is an extremely draining amount of work to put into one video. Just before we do pop into the campaign here, if you are enjoying this series and you do want to keep me doing it, this is a very, very time-consuming series to upload. This video alone is like literally 3 full days after I get home from work, working as soon as I get to my computer after I've eaten dinner to literally as I go to bed. This has just been 3 full days, every last minute that I have free time. So if you do like this one, of all videos, please like this one. Please subscribe to the channel. I really, really need it for these ones. It's going to help me feel a lot less burnt on this. Okay, where we left off, we had just defeated the enemy Gigawatt just down here with the Seafort and the Cam Jam. We have another force of ships somewhere, I think, and I've lost them. We'll find them at some point, I'm sure. But we need to continue pushing into the Lightning Hoods, and I want to see if I can take these guys out today. I found them. They took this resource zone. That makes a lot more sense. Something else I designed between this video and last video is just this little space thruster thing. I don't know why it only has 30 engine power. Oh, it's because the batteries haven't charged up yet. But this thing goes significantly faster and carries a little bit of cargo to go with it, and it gives us maximum strategic range is the main benefit of this. So just to let you know, we're using these to replace our spice. Blah, 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 blah. To replace our spy balloons that we've been using up until this point. Taking out this enemy fortress shouldn't be too much of a difficulty. They do have a fair quantity of missiles, but as you can see, the laser defense system is working a treat. we should be okay here. We just need to be wary of any stronger enemies that they might spawn. We know that they've spawned a couple of gigawatts. They definitely might spawn another one. And you, cute little cargo aircraft, you've got to go too, I'm afraid. Being cute won't save you now. There he goes. And just to finish this thing off, dealt with. Too easy. I should really shut my mouth before they spawn like 3 gigawatts at once. And with just 12 minutes left, we have this enemy fortress, the Quartz Stone, to take out. And I believe this is it. This is the heart of the Lightning Hood's forces. So hopefully we can take this thing out without too much trouble here. What we really don't want to see, okay, is that us just shooting at this harmless cargo vehicle while we can be shooting at that there base, which actually, that's just the munitions base. Right, shoot the cargo vehicles. That thing definitely is better armed than a cargo vessel, but maybe not that munitions factory. I love these little Lightning Hood's cargo vessels. They're really, really cute, but also really annoying to kill. They just take a long time. It's so many blocks, and yet so few of them functional or explosive. This absolute trail of blocks that he's leaving behind. Goodness me. It's an absolute shower of heat fragments every single time we hit like a single block thin line of pieces. We have twin warhead heat shells, so they can just go through the other side of the enemy if they have a particularly thin bit of armor. Here's the terrible, terrible, terrible torpedoes, which actually I don't think I have upgraded, which yeah, that could have some consequences. Hopefully they don't send any submarines immediately after us. Let's shoot this one that isn't exploding actively. Currently, what's stressing me out is that while we are defeating this cargo vessel, that's the enemy fortress over there. That's a long, long way we've sailed. Okay, cargo vessel down, which does mean that we need to head back over there in order to see any of this fight actually happening. So I'll rejoin you when that happens. I mean, we are hitting it somewhat. We've keep blowing little ammo barrels up all over the thing. I don't know where there's ammo barrels on this, but they're somewhere, because I keep hitting them. This is such an insane build. Like, there's crystals spinning on the inside of these. I don't really know. Maybe we've damaged that, but what? Why? Crystals? Lightning Hoods? I guess they're powered by crystals, but what? How do you come up with this stuff, man? It's quite an ominous sight seeing our cruiser so far in the distance, just shelling this base with such impunity. There goes the munitions factory, and that means we're about to see the Quartz Stone Fortress spawn in, which is quite a lot more intimidating than what we've fought so far. Up until this point, we definitely seemed like the bigger force bullying the smaller force, but I don't think that is going to be the case in approximately 3, 2, 1... Voila! Now, you can see they look like quite the larger force than we do. Right, what we need to do is take out this main tower, I think. We're going to go and aim the main guns manually for the base of this tower here, and hopefully we can just cut the entire thing down, because all of their big, powerful laser weaponry is in there, and if we can sever that, we stop them not only having weapons to attack us, but also having munitions defenses to stop our missiles. And these missile turrets are absolutely detonating. They can't have many places to hide their ammunition, so I'm imagining they're not doing great as a result of that. Now, can we please take out this main turret here? If I go all weapons, we can get the kinetic missiles focusing on it. Those are probably going to be the ones that actually do the job. There we go. Last couple of blocks here. Come on! It's held on by a single pillar. Come on! You can do it. I believe I believe, will the flat guns do it? There we go. They've taken out the pillar. That is not going to be good for their fortress. I cannot lie. And let's just wipe out this little turret here so that that is no longer defending them. I believe that leaves us wiping out the last survivors of the lightning hoods with impunity. Come on, Seafit. Join on in. I've just increased the battle cap so that we can get both of our ships here. I don't know. There's the Cam Jam, and over on the other side, who, you know, took part, legally speaking, it's the Seafit. One of our destroyers, one of our cruisers, and we didn't need the super cruiser for the lightning hoods, apparently. This is when, as soon as this battle ends, it turns out it's not actually the last part of the lightning hoods we need to take out. And that looks like that is all she wrote for the Quartz Stone Fortress. It's kind of sad, actually. I thought we'd have a little bit more trouble from the lightning hoods. Maybe I need to turn the campaign up a little bit. I've already turned it up once. Maybe we turn it up a little bit again. So many blocks left to disintegrate on this thing, but that is it. And there you go. That is the message you get when you destroy the lightning hoods. So that is them dealt with. Any moment now, we'll see the last couple of their forces disappearing from the map. And we got 11 minutes to capture as much territory as we physically can before the next council meeting. Okay, we only have a minute left until this next council meeting. You can see we've taken a fair bit of territory off the lightning hoods, but there's still a couple of resource zones up for grabs, and these are really, really close to White Flare territory. I am assuming that we'll have an option to go up against the Onyx Watch, and we do, which is probably what we're going to do. I don't know if I can support that long of a front line against both the Onyx Watch and the White Flares. My ships are not that quick, so we're probably just going to go up against the Onyx Watch here, which does mean we're going to have a period of presumably some ease, I guess. The Onyx Watch don't scare me that much. And the button has been pressed. The Onyx Watch is next on our list. Our ships are already moving across. We have three destroyers, in fact, sending their force over there right now, which should be enough for a couple smaller enemies. And then we obviously have a cruiser here that we can use for any bigger enemies. And just because we can, we're going to spawn in another cruiser down here and just get this supplied so that we can get a little bit more power projection going up into the Onyx Watch. And the next super supporter up is Cody Fox. So this will be the PBS Cody, and that is going to be our new cruiser supporting our fleet. That is a serious number of Onyx Watch ships that they've just dispatched from their home base. Luckily, none of them look particularly threatening alone. We got some pretty fast, I believe these are sail ships up at the front, and that is quite significantly bigger than my destroyers, so we'll see how we do. I don't think we should struggle too much, to be entirely honest. Whoa, that rook nearly managed to intercept one of my spy vehicles there. That wouldn't have been good. Okay, our destroyer flotilla is going up against this southernmost resource point here. I wanted to go for it right now before we have the cruisers in range, just because they're sending even more ships, so it's only going to get harder from here. We're going to have every single ship in this fight, and I'm going to get myself on the Stug 3. I think we should be okay, as I imagine these are sail ships. No, they're not. Okay, we'll see how this goes. That is a sail ship. Not too concerned about that. The fire missiles shouldn't struggle too much, and it looks like we're doing a pretty good job of shooting down the enemy's cram shells, which is obviously the predominant weapon that the Onyx Watch uses. That one got through, but we're soaking it up. That's not too bad. Obviously, need to prioritize this. This is by far and away the biggest threat, and I also need to clearly reduce the size of the battles just a tiny little bit. My computer is struggling a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm buying a house. I'll get a better computer after my house. I don't know what has EMP. Is it my torpedoes? Oh yeah, my torpedoes have EMP. I completely forgot about that. Why do they have EMP? They should probably be explosive, because explosives do more damage. Let's not question it too much. Why are you underwater, Stug? What are you doing? What are you doing down there? Get up on the surface, you silly fellow. Right, this Nightingale is getting into a spot where I think we should really just take it out, and yep, that wasn't too hard at all. Right, now we need to worry more about this Brander stock, because we don't have to worry about that so much. You back on the surface? Yeah, you are. All 4 guns are still firing on that one. Terra, that's 2 guns gone. That's really not great. Holmes, you still have all 4 guns firing as well. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at these torpedoes and swap them away from EMP to explosive warheads, just because that's going to do probably the most damage versus this enemy. Yeah, to be honest, I've not really been looking at my torpedoes much in this game until now, just because they've not really been the most effective weapons versus most of what we've been fighting, which have been, you know, flying or made out of wood, which means the incendiary did all the work. This is probably the first enemy where having that underwater explosive is going to be really, really effective. These aren't designed to go for torpedoes, submarines either, so they do not have a ballast on, which means it's kind of luck of the draw whether they hit while underwater, and to be honest, yeah, I mean, that's not spectacular damage at the end of the day, but it's better than the EMP probably would have done. It's taking a long time, but it does look like, well, probably even the EMP has taken out quite a lot of their actual AI internals, because the weapons that still are on there don't appear to be firing particularly often, and obviously what it looks like on the outside of being not much damage is probably significantly more if we go on the inside, because of the fact that we're using heat shells, and I genuinely could not tell you, but it looks like there's a bunch of holes in there. Sorry, that was just awful viewing experience right there. And there goes a turret. That's definitely a cram turret. Front turret. There we go. That's nice. I think it's only a matter of time before this Brander stock goes down. It is a shame that we lost the turrets here on Terra, but it must have just been a bad cram hit at a bad spot, and we didn't have any armor there. That's the consequences of having such small boats, I guess. Fortress went in all of that at some point, probably set on fire by the missiles and just burned up. That used to be a fairly formidable warship. Used to be. Oh look, the blood of the enemies. And finally, the Brander stock goes down as well. Is there anything else in this fight? Nope, that's it. Okay, cool. Chalk up 1 victory against the Onyx Watch. Previously, our very good friends in this campaign. And I've just given Cody, because it's a, you know, very big ship for our current fleet, a fresh lick of paint, which you can see is visually distinct from the other ones. So hopefully you like the look of this one, Cody. If not, sorry. Okay, these brave 3 destroyers once again taking on another section of the enemy fleet. We have an Iron, a Lunette, and a Partisan to deal with. Just for lag reasons, we're going to turn that down a little bit, so this won't be the whole fleet in one go, which is a bit of a shame, but it just means that we can actually see what's going on a little bit clearer, and it's been nice enough to spawn 2 of my destroyers in, which is kinder than it had to be. The Iron has some crazy mortar shells going on there, and the Lunette is absolutely adorable. Look at that tiny little thing burn. That is... I love the little sail ships. I would love to actually build a sail ship. It's just, they are just so useless. And the Iron is... Ooh, that's really nice. That chain dangling off, that must have taken a long time with the Mimic tool, and then the guns entirely rotating in the hull here. That is just all gun, isn't it? Goodness me. Hopefully, though, it's not doing too much damage, because those are some pretty hefty cram shells. A bad hit could spell disaster. Why are you aiming for the funnel? Aim for the guns. What is wrong with you? In go some of our newly HE torpedoes, and looks like the Iron has lost its engine, perhaps, because it's just capsizing at the moment, which is really strange. Oh, there goes the Lunette. And Holmes has just spawned in along with the Partisan, which is another broadsiding sail ship, which is nice to see so many of these things getting thrown about. We're not looking at those cram shells. They seem to have mostly missed, though. We're okay for now, and that's probably the strongest salvo they'll get off, because cram shells tend to be most powerful in the first shot, and then they drop off a little bit. Does mean, unfortunately, because they are cram and not advanced cannons, that these massive heat shells that we're hitting them with right now, well, not massive, this mass of heat shells that we're hitting them with aren't causing massive internal explosions, just, you know, relatively large internal explosions. I guess we can't complain that much. Please don't shoot or ram each other. That's not what we need. Stug. I'm going to turn off your movement AI. Okay, just wait for Holmes to go past. And then you can carry on. Oh, then you can carry on. The iron has finished capsizing. Yep, there goes the iron. That was a really, really cool craft, actually. And this thing... well, you can't really see it anymore. It's just fire, isn't it? And for what I believe is going to be the last fight for today in the campaign, the Cody is going to get its first taste of action versus a fleet it should have absolutely no problem destroying. We got one of them irons that we just saw, and over there we have a Telemachus, which, if I remember rightly, is a really, 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 really small little thing. And, yep, that is absolutely adorable. I love it. We've got 2 turrets on the iron and 1 turret on the Telemachus here, which, honestly, that works out pretty well, actually. If we can hit the thing. Cody is taking quite a lot of shots from the iron without losing pretty much anything, to be entirely honest. And the iron is not having such a good time of it. Where are the torpedoes? I can hear them. There they are. Those are going to do a reasonable amount of damage to the iron, I'm gonna guess. As in... that. And it knocked the other torpedo so far off course that it's missed. I guess that is a bit of a problem with having insanely powerful torpedoes. There goes a second iron. And now for this little fella. Aw. I mean, he's still doing alright, isn't he? For now. We'll see how long that lasts. And yeah, it's just exploded. And it's AI dead. What was that? 10 seconds? They do have a furnace over here, which is armed. However, none of those guns are particularly good. They look very impressive, but they're not very impressive. Got a couple of torpedo hits on the side there, showing through, but nothing too bad. Oh, it's AI dead. Well, there you go. Good job, Cody. Well, that is all for today. Next episode, we're going to push further north into the icy confines of the Onyx Watch territory and hopefully take them out for good. And maybe even we'll get to spawn in our super cruiser. You can see here there is a massed fleet of ships coming towards our destroyer squadron, including a couple of fairly formidable fleets, which we will be taking on next time. Our other attack force has just arrived at this oil refinery platform, and we are ready to commence our all-out assault. But that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please, please, please leave a like, comment, and or subscribe if you like this. These take a really long time, but they're really good fun as well. So, I can't wait to see you all next time. But, bye! And as always, a huge thank you to YouTube super supporters Edwin, Yoki, Corvoid, Prince Casper 33, Flimsy Steve, Proto Series 1000, Eldoge, YT 3744, Marlon Gwekin, Cruiser 25, Cody Fox, Peter Holmes, Peter Seifert, CamGem 135, Stug 3, and Terra. And a huge thank you to all the regular tier supporters as well.